joining us this afternoon. ICI Executive Director Brian Hosaka. Sir, magandang hapon and welcome to Storycon, Attorney Hosaka.
Yes, magandang hapon po, Ed, Amy, Regina, and Ronald.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you for joining us, sir. Finally, we have you. Sir,
finally.
We understand na naglabas ng subpoena ang ICI for Zaldico. I think it's the second subpoena that you released, but the first subpoena didn't work. I mean, he still hasn't appeared. What makes you confident or what makes you think that a new subpoena will get him this time?
Well, Ed, nung tama kayo, no, yung una kasing pinadala, I had it checked, no, because alam naman ho natin na wala dito si former Congressman Zaldico. So naturally po, hindi po siya makaka-attend. But we wanted to make sure that a second one will be sent para in case na baka ho by some miracle mag-attend ho siya, di better, no? But kung wala po, at least covered po lahat ng basis natin in proper and possible po mag-file tayo ng petition for contempt against him in the proper courts po. So naninigurado lang po kami para in case that hindi po kumbaga mag-file tayo ng contempt proceedings, covered po yung basis natin.
What would trigger that? What would trigger the filing of a contempt petition with the courts?
Unang-una po, siyempre pagka hindi po siya maka-attend, then it means he failed to comply with the invitation or the summons or the subpoena of the ICI, no. So pupunta po kami ngayon yan. We will make the necessary studies and petition before the regional trial court.
Gaano kalayo pa, attorney, yung pagsampa ng kaso para ma-cancel yung kanyang passport? Philippine passport.
Yung po kasi, yung pag-file ng meron pong mga requisites diyan, no. Gaya nga po ng sinasabi nila, kuminsan po kailangan dyan fugitive from justice siya, no. Sa ngayon po kasi, if I'm not mistaken, wala pa pong kaso na ifa-file talaga sa kanya, no. Nagsisimula po dyan. Kung habang wala po, then we have no basis to file any petition or request for the cancellation of his passport. So nag-uumpisa po kasi doon yun.
Anong status ni Speaker Martin in relation sa ICI, attorney? Dumalo siya dyan before, di ba? Anong status niya ngayon? Iimbitahan ba siya uli or for now it ends there?
Isa-isa, Ronald, is in-invite namin siya. Actually, sinabina po namin siya. Then we will take it from there. Kung hindi pa rin po siya mag-attend, then sabi nga gaya nga po na sinabi ko, then we will look for legal remedies such as probably filing a contempt proceedings against him, which is basically hindi po siya sumunod sa subpoena namin. So, yun muna po yung tinitingnan namin.
Sir, he's asking about Speaker Romualdez.
Attorney, I was asking about Speaker Martin Romualdez.
Okay. Akala ko po si former congressman ko. Yung tanong po ninyo, nagpa-request po siya ng ng resetting nung kanyang hearing dahil meron nga daw po siyang medical procedure na gagawin sa kanya, no. So mamumove po 'yon. Most probably po after na po nung mga mid-November po 'yan. Kasi may naka-schedule po kami ng November 12, November 11. But more importantly, we want to make sure na meron na po kasi kaming guidelines on the live streaming before we start with any of our hearings again.
But at this point, do you know where Zaldico is? I'm guessing you work closely with DOJ and the DOJ and DFA in terms of may idea ba kayo where his whereabouts are?
Wala po kaming information kung nasaan po siya.
So yung subpoena was served at two places, one to his home in Pasig and the other two?
In Pasig and yung isa po sa address niya po sa Bicol. Last known address pong sinusundan namin.
Okay. And it was
attorney, paano kung ganyang mga hindi sumisipot? Can you still proceed with the preliminary investigation kung sakasakali? Can you recommend, halimbawa, sa DOJ, sige ito, merong ganitong posibleng kaso, can they proceed kahit wala? Parang magwe-wave na lang kung sakasakali, yung taong yan, ng right niya to reply.
Tama po kayo, Ma'am. Unang-una, hindi naman po ito, fact-finding po kami, no?
Yes. Sa DOJ siya.
Kung kumbaga po, on our part po, Ang gagawin lang po namin is kakaalap po kami ng mga information, tsaka ng mga facts, at tsaka ng mga ebidensya po. And from there, we will make our necessary recommendation and referral to the Office of Ombudsman. So, pwede pong tumuloy yung sa amin. Kung hindi man pumunta yung mga aming resource persons, we will proceed with whatever evidence that we have para po eventually masampahan ng ombudsman itong mga taong responsible for this mess po against these individuals po, no?
Kasi pwede nyo namang gamitin, di ba? May mga testimony na against him eh. In fact, medyo mabibigat na yung mga akusasyon sa kanya eh. So pwede nyo i-recommenda yun, di ba? Either to the DOJ or to the ombudsman. Sinasabit siya, kung ayaw niya sumagot, anong magagawa natin? Pero pwedeng mag-proceed yung case sa kanya.
Magpo-proceed po kami kung regardless kung mag-appear man sila or hindi po. We're talking of any resource person ho dito, no? Kung hindi po sila pumunta, kung as long as meron po kaming sufficient ebidensya at saka mga testimonies. Kasi hindi lang po nakasalalay sa testimony ng isa, no? We want to verify, we want to cross-check, we want to see kung ano po yung mga iba nating ebidensya. Now, once we have a substantial basis to make our recommendations sa Office of the Ombudsman, gagawin po namin yun.
Attorney, at tanong ko lang, dahil sabi nyo nga, may nagsasubpoena kayo. Usually kasi ang subpoena nakadikit sa powers na mag-contempt. May powers bang ICI na i-contempt itong mga hindi susunod sa subpoena?
Maganda po na tanong niyan, Ronald, no? Kasi under the EO 94, wala po kaming contempt powers. Isa nga po yan sa mga tinatanong sa amin, paano po mangyayari yun. But we're working with what we have. Gaya nga po ng nabanggit ni former retired Senior Associate Justice Tony Carpio, nabanggit niya po yun, and I kind of agree with him, that the powers given to the ICI is the, kumbaga, maximum powers already that can be given through an executive order. So we're making with what we have po. Ginagawa po talaga namin yung makakaya namin despite of our limitations to deliver our mandate. Alam naman po namin kung ano yung hinihiling ng mga taong bayan. And kami rin naman po dito we're appalled, medyo hindi rin po kami masaya sa nangyayari ito. But because of our current limitations, we're just asking more time kasi po nag-start talaga kami from zero. Wala pa kaming machinery, wala pa kaming infrastructure, no, kumbaga, wala pa kaming staffing pattern to be able to deliver the mandate, no, fully. But hopefully po, pagka meron na po yan, tutuloy-tuloy, mas bibilis yung pagre-refer namin sa Office of the Ombudsman or wherever po pwede namin masabit yung aming referrals.
Follow-up question lang, attorney, ay merong bill kasi sa Congress para bigyan kayo ng contempt powers, etc. Yan ba ay dineklara na ng Presidente as a priority bill? Ikalawa, ay ang alam ko, wala pa kayong budget eh. Meron kayong sinubmit sa DBM na 40 million. Ano na status nun? Dahil ang hirap naman magtrabaho kayo na full-blown nang wala kayong budget. Humingi ba kayo ng pondo pansamantala sa intelligence fund ng Presidente?
So sa ngayon po yung staffing po namin puro volunteers pa po dito, no. Wala pa ho kaming pondo. So we're waiting. We've completed all our requirements, so to speak, no, yung mga ano ba yung ilan ng kailangan namin na staff to be able to do this, no, to deliver the mandate. At the same time, naka-base rin po doon yung aming budget, no. So ang intindi ko po, kukunin po to sa contingent funds po, no. Kasi po sa ngayon po wala naman po kaming maisubmit na budget namin in time for 2025, at the same time po for the next year 2026. So yun po yung dilemma namin, but we've complied. Hinihintay na lang po namin kung kailan ma-aprobahan po.
Sir, don't you find that funny that you've been in existence, you've been working for around a month already, without a budget, without a proper staffing? So I'm wondering what kind of support you're getting from Malacanang, which created you in the first place.
And actually, is that contingent budget of the president of the OP? Just to clarify.
Ng executive po yan.
Okay.
Executive, I believe executive department po yan. Hindi lang po sa OP yan. So meron pang part po yata yan ng budget nila na sa mga ganito pong instances na newly created kami, naturally po wala po kayong pagkukuhanan ng budget. So nakasalalay po sa contingent funds po, no. So kumbaga ito po yung pagkukuhanan ng budget ng ICI.
Konting tip lang, attorney, konting tip lang, atin natin lang, huwag niyo pagkalat. Yung intelligence fund ng presidente, pwede kayong kumuha ron immediately. Immediately yun.
Yeah, that is what it's for, right? You're gathering intelligence. But anyways, sorry, coming back to Ed's question.
Pero sir, ingay, it's hard to imagine, hindi kayo sumulpot basta-basta na lang on your own. The president created you because the president himself made mention of how big the problem is. So we're left wondering here, bakit parang hindi ata kayo nasusuportan as you should be supported with the urgency that should come with the magnitude of the problem, as also elucidated on by the President. Di ba? Ang Pangulo nag-broadcast nito, nagpalaki nito, at naglabas ng lahat ng ito, pero parang hindi ata tumumbas yung suporta na kukuha ninyo. And balikan ko lang yung tanong ni Ronald kanina. May team na ho ba kayo kung na-certify na as urgent yung bill sa Kongreso para bigyan kayo ng kapangyarihan? Kasi kung wala kayong kapangyarihan...
IPC yun iba yun
Oo, baka.
They want to create an independent... ewan ko kung parehong body yan. Independent commission na iba yun.
Yeah, there's a People's Commission din eh.
Iba yun.
But there's also a proposal to give the ICI itself
bigger powers.
Subpoena powers and contempt powers. I think that's different from the People's Commission pa.
Okay ba yun?
So, ayun po, any word on that, on whether the President is actually pushing for more powers for your commission?
Yung dalawang punto po, yung susuporta ko na muna sinabi ninyo kanina, no, before we went to the IPC. No. Ang ginawa po kasi ngayon, meron po mga tumutulong sa amin na mga agencies, one of which is the Public Attorney's Office, kasi po nangangailangan kami ng mga abogado. So in the meantime po, meron po silang pinadala sa amin na mga lawyers to help us out, no, which is very good po kasi nakakatuwa naman po dahil any help that we can get is welcome, no, kasi nga po kokonti po kami dito to start with, but mabuti na lang po nagpadala rin po ang PAO and they've been helping us with the case build up. So on that basis po nagsisimula na po yung pagtutulungan ng ibang agencies. In fact, we've come up with the TWG on not only for prosecution but restitution po, no. Ito yung mga administrative remedies na pwede namin makuha na medyo in a bit would be faster. Now second po yung sa IPC po, no. Yung IPC po, I think that's in the Senate right now. Hindi ko lang po alam kung sa lower house or sa Kongreso, sa House of Representatives, meron pong similar bill or panukala po na nandoon.
Pero nga sir, IPC is a different body altogether ata eh. Any word on whether the President is working to give your body any power to hold in contempt?
Kila de Lima yata yung bill na yan.
Ayun, di po proposed earlier eh.
Wala po akong, baka lang po meron, but factual po, wala po akong alam po kung meron po talaga.
Isa pang linawin ko lang, attorney, may report kasi ngayon from Antonio Trillanes na sinomo niyo raw si Senator Bongo pero meron yata mga conditions siyang sineset to appear. Tama ba yun?
Parang naglabas kayo ng statement, attorney, na hindi yun totoo.
Wala po na ipadadala po kay Senator Bongo po as a resource person.
Okay. So, mali itong istoryan to.
Baguhin mo, Ami. Baguhin yung storya mo, ha?
Hindi, meron
in-accurate yung storya mo, ha?
I wanna come back.
Kaya kinaklaro ko. Ay, tanong ka na lang yung kumusta na yung mga rules nyo, live streaming.
Ami, hold on.
Parang ang tagal namang gumawa ng rules sa live streaming.
Ami, sorry.
Bakit ganon?
Ami, sorry. Balikan ko lang yung question yung topic ni Ed about independence because there's lingering questions around it and until now hindi pa rin klaro. Yung funding is a big part of the question, but the other side of it is, of course, you keep saying that you go where the evidence leads you, but if the evidence leads you to Malacanang, how will the ICI be bold enough to name names in that case? And also, if I recall correctly, you were handpicked by E.S. Bersamin, no? First to
No.
become, in your previous jobs, first to become spokesperson for the Supreme Court and also for the GCG, if I recall correctly, the Governance Commission for GOCCs. How involved is E.S. Bersamin in all of this?
Well, first of all po, I was appointed as in the Supreme Court po as a Supreme Court spokesperson in 2019, and thereafter po I was reappointed by two other Chief Justices po, Chief Justice Peralta and Chief Justice Esmundo. And thereafter po I was appointed as commissioner sa GCG, the Governance Commission for GOCCs po, as commissioner by the President po. Now, dito po, I was recommended by Chairman Andy Reyes because he was also part of the Supreme Court at the time that I was there in the as spokesperson po. Now, as far as the Executive Secretary Bersamin is concerned, wala naman po siyang hand po dito sa ICI kasi nga po independent po kami. In fact, yung mga tatlo pong members po ng commission were all appointed by the President, not by the Executive Secretary.
Pero sir, di ba, this is the same office.
It's the same office. That's where I think a lot of the confusion comes from. It's the same office. So basically, you guys were all handpicked, you were appointed, but then you were not given the resources to run the commission properly. Because we had Yusek Claire Castro here a few weeks ago as well. We're trying to
Can I
understand.
just comment on that, on the fact of appointment by the President? Because the appointment, based on the executive order, the appointment would be coming from the President. And it was my explanation na hindi naman po lahat ng mga ina-appoint, doesn't mean na porkit in-appoint pa ng Presidente, magiging hindi na po independent yung komisyon or yung any government agencies. Under our Constitution po, mga huwes po natin, mga justices po natin, Chief Justice po, are appointed by the President, and doesn't mean that they're not independent. In fact, they're mandated. They're supposed to be independent, together with the other constitutional bodies, such as the COA, the COMELEC, the Civil Service Commission, and even the Ombudsman. Hindi po nakasalalay naman ang pagiging independent ng isang commission po, isang agency, dahil lang po sila ay in-appoint ng Presidente. Nakasalalay po yan sa karakter po ng mga taong in-appoint dyan po.
That's true, sir. And that's a very good point, sir. But I think what Reg is pointing out is, of course, like many other independent bodies and commissions, you were appointed by the President. Unfortunately, hindi pa kayo binibigyan ng suporta to be independent on your own. So, kailangan po kayo nakasandal pa at this point with somebody else. Kasi wala
Relying
kayong
on other
staffing, wala po
agencies.
kayong budget. So far, unlike the other agencies that are independent by law, meron silang budget.
Yeah.
Yun lang po.
But
That's what we mean. Aren't you constrained by all these problems na hindi kayo nabibigyan ng suporta even though you're supposed to be independent?
Yeah.
Independent in the sense that we sabi nga po natin kung ano pang ebidensya regardless kung saan po mapupunta yan, doon po talaga tayo pupunta ang commission. But as far as funding is concerned, wala nga po kami talagang budget to start with. So we need funding, gaya nga po na sabi. It just so happens that we're not part of the judiciary. We're not part of the Congress. Kumbaga po kailangan pong pagkuhanan ng budget or ng pondo. So naturally po, manggagaling na pa rin naman po yan sa sa GAA, which is 2025, na nakalagay lang po sa contingent fund. So as far as funding is concerned, doon po kami nakasalalay.
Right.
But doesn't mean that our decisions or our actions will not be independent.
Okay, thank you for that clarification, Attorney. Let's go to Ami's question about the rules for live streaming. Ami?
Kumusta na nga yung rules ninyo? Parang ang tagal nga kasing ang tagal gawin for rules of live streaming.
Unang-una po, wala po talagang naka-schedule na hearing this week at saka sa susunod po na linggo. And we will be taking that time to be able to craft our rules really. No? Pinag-iingatan po namin yung paggawa nitong rules natin dahil binabalanse po namin yung gusto ng taong bayan for more transparency and to be able to to see the workings of the commission. Okay naman, sabi nga po ni Justice Andy, ang kailangan lang po namin na tingnan po dito is binabalanse naman po namin yan doon sa karapatan naman po ng mga individual na i-invite po ng commission as resource persons. At the same time, yung maaari nilang idawit, pinag-iingatan po namin yan. Sabi nga po niya is, the commission hears the cry of the people for more transparency, but at the same time gusto pa namin pangalagaan yung integrity nung proceedings, at the same time yung investigation itself. So in that case, tinitingnan pa rin namin kung paano po to mapapakinggan yung cry for more transparency. At the same time, ayaw po namin maging political venue po yung ICI dahil baka po malihis yung aming investigation. At hindi po namin matukoy at matumbok kung sino po talaga yung mga may kasalanan.
Attorney, last week, yung isang senador may very bright, intelligent proposal na uupo yung oposisyon at saka yung mga religious cults diyan sa ICI. Did you ever talked about it sa ICI, itong very bright, intelligent proposal na ito?
Unang-una nga po, napag-usapan, pero ang ano nga po yun nga po, kung titingnan niyo po yung composition ng commission ngayon, wala pong politiko dyan meron po tayong retired Justice of the Supreme Court. You have a former Secretary of the DPWH who performed very well, who cleaned up the DPWH. At the same time, we have a technocrat in the person of Commissioner Fado. Kung titingnan niyo ho, wala pong mga politiko dyan Yan nga ho yung pine-prevent namin. Because once magkaroon po tayo ng politiko inside the commission or as a member of the commission, baka nga po hindi na po independent talaga yan. So as far as we are concerned, ideal na po ang composition nung commission.
At what point did you decide to open up the hearings? I'm just curious because we were pushing for weeks, civil society groups were pushing for weeks, pero for a long time the ICO was saying, no, you don't want to politicize it, exactly what you're saying now. And then suddenly, one day, things change. What was the tipping point? Or sino nagsabi to open it up?
Wala naman pong tipping point dyan. Probably it was just the decision of the commission to heed the cry of the people, but at the same time in the statement of Justice and Chairman Andres Reyes, he mentioned that we have to craft the rules first. So yan po yung tinitingnan, yung gagawin namin. That's our priority right now.
Maasahan ba ng mga tao parang sa Senate yan or sa House, for example, yung pagla-live stream nyo? Yun lang naman tinatanong ng mga tao, yan ang inaasahan nila.
Hindi ko pa masasagot yan kasi until the rules are eventually approved by the commission, doon po namin mapapakita kung ano po yung magiging patakaran as far as the hearing of the ICI is concerned.
What about the previous hearings, attorney? Is there a plan to release, I don't know, transcripts, executive summaries, or...
Kasama po yan doon sa that will be part of the rules that will be crafted by the commission and approved eventually.
Okay, so you are considering that as well, not just future hearings, but the hearings that you've already conducted.
I mean, that will be part po kung isasama nila yan or hindi po doon sa rules and procedures on live streaming.
No, I mean that's for the live stream. Pero what about the previous hearings that you've already conducted? Kahit hindi, even if you don't release the recordings, is there discussions around releasing transcripts or summaries or whatever?
That will also be part of the rules and regulations to be approved by the commission.
Okay. So
pinag-uusapan
kasama po
okay,
yan.
so you are discussing it. Okay.
Yes. Kasi po narinig rin po namin yung mga request nga po kasi tinatanong nga paano yung mga previous so that will be tackled also by the commission.
Oh, good. Okay.
Wala pa nag-request dun sa mga ninyo? Yung mga dating in-interview nyo, walang nag-request na wag nyo na ma-release yung mga transcript Kasi may mga kumakalat na may nagsigawan daw, meron mga ganon.
Wala naman pong ganun mga request. At the same time, yung mga sinasabi po nagsigawan, mga nagwawala po. I mean, wala pong ganyan na pangyayari.
Okay.
Very orderly yung proceedings dito sa ICI. Tahimik po, no fanfare. Kasi po maliit lang po yung aming hearing room and it can only accommodate so much. But kumbaga we maintain formality and order po in our proceedings po. Wala pong ganyan na mga nangyayari na
parang hindi mo ma-imagine si Senator Mark Villar na nagwawala at saka unhinged.
Well, that's one incident.
Ayan na, si Heckler nagsabi niyan.
That's one incident.
Parang hindi mo ma-imagine, di ba?
That's one incident we heard about. But the other thing that we know for a fact is nag-walk out yung contractor si Sara and Curly Discaya. Correct? According to Justice Secretary... Sorry, Ombudsman.
Hindi naman sila nag-walk out. They just said that that they will no longer be cooperating or cooperating with the ICI.
Lumabas lang, tapos hindi na bumalik. Sabi ni Ombudsman Remulla, di ba? That they walked out?
Yung walk out kasi, magtataob ka na lamesa, tapos alis ka.
I don't know what kind of walk out. Okay, but unfortunately, we've run out of time. We'd love to talk to you more, so we'll have you back on the show.
Yes, sir. We'd like to have you back.
Yeah, salamat, attorney. Sana hindi ka ma-discourage na umulit. Despite.
Maraming salamat to sa pag-imbita niyo sa akin. I hope you continue po yung pagmamatsyag natin dito kasi we need people like you po to keep us going dito po sa ICI.